Good day, Rolling Mat community. So today you'll need a couple of blocks as we will be working into some modifications of low lunge to stretch through our hip flexors. Hope everyone's having a great day today. We're going to start in a nice comfortable seat. Just cross-legged pose, gentle connection to the breath. So just arrive here, using this moment to just be, not trying to change anything too drastically or feel like we have to force the breath. Just notice the breath. Notice the body and where you are. Put the fingertips out to the side. We'll just take some big, nice lengthening through the arm. Inhaling as you rise, exhaling as you fall. Maybe you drop the chin down towards the chest, getting a nice little active stretch for the back of the neck. Last one like this. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. This time we'll lift the arms up overhead and take a nice little gentle twist to the right. Warming up through that low spine. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, opposite side. So we'll be working through the hip flexors, finding flexibility there and strength through the legs. Inhale, coming all the way back up to center, lengthen, and exhale, float the hands down. So to ignite that, we're going to bring the feet together, coming into our butterfly pose. So you can hang on to the ankles, the shins, maybe the toes, and just allow your body to help your body work, help your body stretch, find length, find flexibility. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch through those inner thighs, you can slightly hinge forward, also lengthening through the back a little bit more, feeling a deeper stretch. Continue to breathe, softness in the face, calmness in the breath. And very gently rise. We're going to close the knees, find tabletop pose. So you want to make sure that your blocks are close by on either side of the mat. You can even use the blocks right now under hands if you want to elevate your tabletop pose. We're going to send the right toes back, lift that leg up, rotate the hip down, exhale, tone the belly, bring that knee in, plant the foot in between hands. So tabletop's going to be our transition pose today. Scoot your blocks on either side of the foot, highest height. Come up to the back toes, lift the back knee, soften back down to the mat. So here we're in a elevated low runner's lunge. Squaring the hips, pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. See if you can hover the hands and tone the belly. And then from here, we're going to walk the blocks back to about mid-mat. Lengthen up through the heart, lengthen up through the chest, pushing forward in the hips, feeling that nice hip flexor stretch. Rotating the hips nice and square if you need to. Right hip back, left hip forward. Breathe, shine the heart forward. If you'd like to, take one block in between hands, working on shoulder alignment while we're at it. Feel the instability that created in the body. Work with the breath. Pull the adductors in towards the center line. Inhale as you lift that block up overhead, keeping the shoulders down in their socket. Nice tone on the block to work through the arms slightly. And breathe. Softly bring the block and hands back down. And we're going to shift it back into our half split. So just stretching through the back of that hamstring. Right toes flex up towards the ceiling or sky. Keep the chest nice and long, nice and open. And then shift it forward. Firing it up a little bit, curling the back toes, and then lift the back knee. So straightening that back leg, coming into full crescent lunge, coming to the fingertips on the block this time. Notice what's going on in the hips. Notice the heat in the legs. Same thing with the block if you'd like to. Taking the block out to eye level, putting a nice tone on the block. Deep breath in, full breath out. And then as you're ready, see if you can lift the block. Coming into a little bit of a back bend if you choose to do so, shifting hips forward, getting more of a hip flexor stretch, opening the heart towards the sky. Arms are going back behind. And then softly bring it through center and bring that block all the way back down. Gently lower down to that back knee, flip the toes over to face the earth. Maybe you play around here with your half split, widening it, shortening it, whatever you may need. Just getting a nice stretch through the back of that leg. Slowly start to bring it forward. Walk the blocks in front of you. You can come down to the mat with the hands or stay on the blocks if you'd like, and then just sweep that right leg in behind. So showing you a little bit of an elevated tabletop if it's easier to transition. Having blocks on their highest height. Taking that left leg in behind, lifting that left foot up. Still keeping the hips nice and square. As you exhale, tone the belly, bring that knee up and in. Scooch that back knee back, find that modified low runner's lunge. Tone the core, make sure you're not dumping into that front leg. You can hover the hands if you'd like to. Getting a little bit more awareness there. And then walk the blocks back to your side. Start to lengthen through the heart. Loop the shoulders back. You can come to fingertips or palms onto the blocks. The blocks are really there just to help you with the stability here. So they're there for you in case you start to lose your way a little bit. And then again, taking that block in between hands, or you can maybe challenge yourself and not use the block. Trying to keep the space between the shoulders, keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale as you lift the block up overhead. Breathing here. Think about what's going on in the hips. Make sure they're nice and aligned. And then softly, slowly bring that block back to eye level, all the way back down. Shifting it back into your half split. Feel the stretch through the back of that leg. Keep the heart shining forward. Forward thinking with the heart. And bring it back to center. Spicing it up a little bit. Tuck those back toes under if you'd like to, and then lift and straighten that back leg. Coming into full crescent lunge. So fingertips come to blocks. Maybe you stay here today. Squaring the hips as best you can, or take that one block out in front, eye gaze, start to think about toning up through the arms and shoulders, and then if you'd like to and it's available for you, you can lift the block up overhead when ready. Maybe you create a little bit of a back bend, pushing forward in the hips, opening up through that hip flexor even more here. And softly, slowly bring it back to center. Gently release the arms, release the block, soften that back knee. Once more, taking it into that half split. And softly bringing it forward, walking the blocks out of the way. We're going to scooch that knee back, take the knees wide, big toe mounds together, coming down to the hands. You can bring a block under forehead if you need to, sitting it back into your extended child's pose. Breathe here. Feel the energy, feel the heat in the thighs, and the hip flexors, and the legs. We also energize through the breath and through the core, through the arms. This will be our final resting pose for today. You can bring palms together, scooch the triceps, biceps in a little bit closer to the head, and bring it into reverse namaste, prayer hands. Getting a nice stretch through the backs of those arms. If you'd like to bring it up into a seat or a shavasana, you may. But maybe you rest here and take a nice, good few breaths. Hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you next time on the mat. Namaste.